Remember this video that I posted on Monday? What I didn't tell you is that I heard from a former Royal Rota reporter that night. And whether it was intentional or not, she revealed a few things. Before I start, I want to make something clear. The conversation we had was perfectly respectful. I think she was just giving her side of the events. The other is that I ask you to please not use this video to go after this woman, because that's not what I'm about. Whether I agree or not, this is fascinating information from this individual. Which royal reporter was in my comment section? Emily Andrews, formerly of the Daily Mail and most recently The Sun, where she was their Royal Rota representative. This is from my Twitter. I posted the videos and then she commented publicly. I did try to reach out to her privately, but have not heard back. Emily was at The Sun during the period where the rural rival story broke from Dan Wooten in The Sun. And I want to look at some of her replies and talk about what I find interesting. First off is this idea that Jason knew that the letter from Meghan to her father had been written with an eye to it being made public. But then there was a strong suggestion, even at that point, she wanted it out there. To be clear, because this comes up later, there's no proof. A suggestion is not proof. I also think it would have been incredibly reckless to not write this article and consider, how would I feel if it was made public? This kind of risk assessment and forward thinking is the kind of thing that men get praised for in the business world and women get called conniving and calculating. Here's what I didn't know. The MOS, Mail on Sunday, had sat on the letter for 6 months. It was the People article that triggered it. I checked around and I haven't found anywhere else or anyone else that knew that the Mail on Sunday potentially sat on this letter for 6 entire months, which means Thomas Markle gave it to Caroline Graham very soon after he received it. And I'm just spitballing here. This is not proven true, but I wonder if they'd been sitting on it trying to continue to milk more information about Thomas Markle, and then the People article was the perfect opportunity for them to turn to Thomas and say, are you going to let that be out there? Are you going to let her win? We need to tell your side of the story and publish this letter. I do not think Thomas Markle is a well man, and that is no excuse for how he has treated and sold out his daughter. But I also find it extremely uncomfortable how the media has preyed on him. The next tweet. The Cambridges/Rose thing was different in that there was no proof. And I can't help feeling like the no proof is a little hypocritical, because just in the tweet above it, we have an example of when certain words are used to suggest something where there's no proof. That brings me back to why I am so interested in this situation to begin with. It's not if an affair happened or not. I don't care about that. It's how the media acted. What we do actually have proof of is some in the British media, specifically the tabloids, not letting a little thing like lack of facts get in the way of a potentially juicy scoop. Even serious media outlets have run stories with little to no proof. Stories that are dangerous to marginalized communities, such as this one that continues to irritate me. With an intentionally worded title, Meghan Cookbook Mosque linked to 19 terror suspects, including Jihadi John, in group's investigation. The only proof in this article is an investigation led by the HJS, which is a right-wing conservative think tank, which is very anti-Muslim. The article provides no quotes from this research, no link to the paper so that you can read it yourself. And trust me, I have tried to find it. I have scoured HJS's website. I have emailed them. I have tried to contact them so I can just see the investigation for myself. It's not proof. It's intellectually dishonest. I'm also not quite sure what no proof has to do with it. Yes, there was an actual letter that Meghan sent to Thomas Markle that was published, but that is clearly illegal and an invasion of privacy and copyright, which was a part of the judge's ruling about why there was no need for this to go to a trial because it was so obviously illegal. I will get into the second big revelation here, but I want to wrap up the topic of proof with some of Emily Andrews' articles, specifically 2 that she has spoken out about. The first one is the Meghan Markle baby shower, which talks about Meghan heading out to the party, leaving a posh hotel, flowers and present deliveries, etc. There was a slight problem. February 19th, 2019 was a Tuesday. Meghan Markle's baby shower wasn't until Wednesday. These were details of an event that hadn't happened. Quite possibly just guessed at the reason why Meghan Markle was seen leaving her hotel. Andrews tweeted that a KP man told her that M's baby shower was Tuesday. This is partially a structural issue with media, with having to turn out so many articles, because it seems like a pretty bad idea to not wait for the event to happen to make sure it actually happens on the right day. And then there was this May 2019 article about Priyanka Chopra visiting baby Archie and gifting him Tiffany jewels, which Priyanka herself responded to on Twitter saying, while these are great ideas, the story is untrue, and I was actually in town for work. I hope whoever this source is starts checking their facts more often. To which Emily replied that she would not publish something without having it confirmed and had 3 separate sources for the story. Perhaps proof means different things to different people. Again, it's interesting that despite a lack of proof on the Cambridge's Rose thing, we've seen plenty of articles published where proof is a loosely held term, whether it's research you never get to see or words like supposedly, suggested, to cover bases for potential legal disputes. The second thing revealed is that, this is a quote from Emily, to my recollection, again, we were all warned off by Harbottle, but verbally, not necessarily in writing. From my research, I haven't found anyone who has corroborated Tom Sykes' Daily Beast story about Harbottle and Lewis sending legal warnings to papers until now. It seems like the fact that it happened, no matter the medium it was delivered, is more important. Also, note the word not necessarily in writing. Was it in writing or not? This seems like a really simple yes or no question, or if you don't know for sure, why include it? I replied with my own comments, and she did reply the next day. She reiterates that journalistically the 2 stories are different. Yes, one is clearly illegal. And that printing a story like that about Prince William and an alleged affair is libel. I don't completely disagree if there is no proof. But I do find it interesting that William's invasion of privacy was used as the reason for these stories to stop and not libel. And then I was hoping that there would be a follow-up to this because I wasn't clear what the Mail on Sunday had published the letter, so it was deemed legally okay to follow it up. That was our conversation. And again, the 2 big takeaways that I found surprising was the fact that the Mail on Sunday sat on that letter for 6 months. I don't believe we had that time frame before, at least by Emily's recollection. And with the Harbottle Lewis case, she confirms that they were warned, whether it was written or verbal. Emily says to her recollection it was a verbal warning. Tom Sykes for the Daily Beast claims to have reproduced some of the actual letter from Harbottle and Lewis in their article. Not gonna lie, it was a strange start to this week. I don't know how I got on Emily Andrews' radar, but it was an illuminating discussion, and I'm glad we had it. So just some new information to stick in your cap.